I was actually trading GBPJ Pro. Oh, that's nice. I was waiting for it. I actually fell asleep and I was up like a couple of pips. So it was next to the scalp. Three
Nice.
pips I fucking missed because I fell asleep. I was
Yeah.
in it and it came back on me. Whatever. Alright. So, start of the week, let me just clean it up so we can understand. So, I mean, every Sunday or Friday, whenever you check your charts during the weekend, you want to look at the weekly and
Tato.
how it goes. Dominant trend for GBP if you go like long term, very long term, would be downtrend. You know, this is since 2015, that big move from 2015 to 2016
It's all been down.
has been downward. This is just a correction.
Yeah.
Correction, and it's possible that, you know, it might go above and break this level. Like this level right here, 152. Breaking it would just mean a higher retracement. I wouldn't say it's right. It's so the trend has changed just because it broke that level.
Tato.
Like you can see, there's some fib in place, so we can have a deeper retracement on the weekly. But overall, if you think long term, like if you were somebody at a hedge fund and you're holding, still sellers are still down, no matter what. Let's just tone it down a bit. So the daily, we seen two rejections. Well, we seen two rejections at this level, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So we're looking for either it's gonna hold at this level, which is broke.
Yeah, with that line 147.
Yeah. So 148 actually. So between 147.5 and 148. That's like the little range. Leave it there for now. And on the daily, the dominant trend is midterm is it would be the bulls are in charge throughout, you know, let's say from September 2016 to now. It's little by little. It's been, you know, a little bit of both, but mainly going up. You see how
Yeah.
around here, you see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, around here, this is the first dominant trend, like bull
Yeah.
trend. Let me just take this off. So one of the things you want to determine to know that the trend is reversing is the previous high, let's say this right here, or the previous, I would say, level. So let's say here, I would say that the bulls are in control once they break
Once they hit that level.
on the daily time frame, right? So once they break this, I would say, yeah, the bulls are in control. That doesn't happen here. It gets rejected again with a further push down, and it found some strength around here. The bulls pushed up, broke this level here. So once that happens, it's not that
Gracias.
they're in control, you know, long term, but for the most part, you want to be looking at buying options. You can sell, but you gotta know how to sell with the trend because it gets pretty tricky. You gotta know where to stop. Like for example, if you were setting around, if you sold this what do you call it? This
Level.
yeah, this level right here, this test. Not sure how much you would need to know where the trend is gonna stop. And with
More or
GBP
less,
JPY, it's a bit tough because I was looking at this when it happened, and I was like, it's gonna stop here,
Then
but
it
it
broke it.
gapped down. So if you were in there, if you were trading that, then gap down in GBP JPY in the dailies is a couple of pips.
Yo, Alexander just tiró in the chat.
Yeah, Who Chifo?
I have no idea.
Who Chifo?
What the fuck?
Ajá, pero todo el mundo dijo a las 8. I don't got all. No tiene oficio aquí, pero. Right, let's continue.
Tato.
So, once you see a move like this, it broke the previous highs. You would say the trend is changing.
Tato.
Okay. Another thing you want to be looking for is you got to understand that once a move like this happens, it's going to take a while for another move like that to happen. And that correction phase, like a lot of things that people mess up, is in the correction phase. They're not patient enough.
Yeah.
So here's correcting. Second test, rejected. Third test, rejected. It found some support again here, a little higher, and it finally broke the level. The reason I think that it might hold around here, around 147, is because it's been trying to break this level for a year now.
Yeah.
So right now, GBP JPY, I'm thinking long term on the daily. I'm only looking for buys. I'm not really trying to sell it. I'll scalp a sell, but buy. Go to the 4 hour. It's in a range right now, the 4 hour.
Okay.
See the range?
Yeah.
In a range, you wanna, with the dominant trend, you wanna be buying. So what is a buying up? For example, this one is the dominant trend is bulls. Look at that move up, consolidation. With the consolidation, I'm looking to buy. Why? Because I'm expecting it to come against this level
And break it?
or break it.
Okay.
Because all it's doing is accumulating orders.
So tú vas a esperar que te choque the trend line on the bottom right here, right? And then.
No, I would be buying now, honestly.
Okay.
I would be buying now on the 4 hour. Let's say that, and 130 pip stop. It might seem a lot, but if you put the right amount on the, if you manage your risk, it's not much. You put according to your account for a 400
pip move.
target. That would be my first target, and I would see how it behaves there. A mid target would be somewhere around here, which is was 200 pips, so it's still 1 hour and a half plus trade, which is not bad. GBP JPY is not bad, and GBP JPY moves fast, so like that might be a 2-day trade. But once it hits up here, 400 pips in 2-3 days, not bad at all.
Hell no.
So honestly, I would be buying now. It's already starting to slow down around the level.
Yeah.
And I'm with the buyers on this one. Another thing you can look at for correspondence is look at GBP USD. GBP USD
This
also dominant trend bulls.
This is like the mirror currency?
It shows strength relative to the dollar. And what you do with that is you look at USD JPY and you see how that one is. And the dollar will kind of tell you But then, depending how the dollar is doing with the yen, you can mirror back and see if the pound is doing pretty good against the dollar, and the dollar is doing good against the yen, then you can see that the pound is gonna take GBP/JPY is gonna be the yen is gonna be weak against the pound if it's weak against the dollar, and the
Tato.
pound is doing better than the dollar. Right here, the pound is gonna probably break to the upside. So with all that being said, what I'm gonna tell you guys that I'm just by looking at what's happening lately, I think that the dollar is gonna enter recession, and it's already like you see this long-term kind of correction here
Yeah.
on the weekly. If it breaks here, we're gonna see the pound gain on the dollar, and once the dollar is weak all across the board. It'll be weak against the euro. It'll be weak against the Canadian. It'll be weak against gold. Look at the move gold did last week.
Nice.
I knew it was gonna happen. I just wanted to catch it in time, so I put some money in my account. Bam. So that's that. But let's not speculate too much because shit changes.
Because the time frames that I try to use, basically, because I'm doing Renkos, I'm doing the daily.
The what?
I do the 1 hour, right? I check the daily to check the market sentiment, the 4 hour, but I trade the 1 hour and the 2.5 and the 5.0.
Okay. 1 hour, so it would be like 1 hour 15 and 5 minutes.
More or less, yeah.
Más o menos. The 1 hour you have a lot of trading opportunities, especially on the yen. Like this little range right here, you could have. It's a descending range, like a little. I would say a little channel
Yeah.
towards the downside, but in this range, depending how it's doing, you don't want to trade against the trend for the most part.
Yeah.
So on the 1 hour, you would be buying at the bottom of the channel. Run here, 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 and now it's at the bottom of the channel again. So it'll be a great buying opportunity. I was selling it, and after I saw that bounce back on the 15 minute, I was just selling that. And this right here is telling me it's about to go up already.
Tato.
So one of the things, once you know a trend is over, is when it knocks out the previous high or low, depending on what it's doing. So let's say here, if it knocks out that level, I know the trend is over. We're looking to buy.
Tato.
We're looking to buy. Next level that I'm looking at is right here, around there, 60 pips on the 1 hour. 15-minute chart, and 60 pips. That's not a bad trade.
Hell no.
How many pips you guys usually go for?
Shit, to be honest, nigga, I be setting my range on the hour. We try to bag at least. Hugo does great. I'm the one that's slacking. I be catching like 10 pips.
Yeah.
And then I'll go negative from there.
Okay. But that's usually, it depends, because if you go negative after 10 pips, that means you're on the wrong side.
Yeah.
So you want to determine on which side you gotta be before you enter a trade.
So what you recommend? I'm sorry. What you recommend for me to do is just check the weekly, entonces, para darme cuenta.
No, at the beginning of the week, start with the weekly. You want to understand long term, because this is all. Once you see the bigger picture and you're just scaling down, you kind of understand what the market will do. But like this range right here, I knew it was gonna break that after this massive candle. But if I don't look at the daily and I see this massive move right here, then I'm kind of in, I'm in the dark.
Yeah.
So every day you want to know how the market closes. If you follow GBP JPY, one of the things you have to do is know day in day out how the market closed, how it opened, how the weekly closed, and then you can tone down because the 4 hour is intraday. It's 1, 2, 3 day kind of trade, right?
Okay.
The daily is, it could be a week, it could be 2. The 1 hour is within the session.
Tato.
So if you're gonna, let's say you're gonna trade at 9 or you're gonna trade at 8 at night, you want to check the daily. You want to see, obviously beginning of the week you check the weekly, but you want to check the daily. What happened last Friday in this instance? We had a strong bear candle break this little range right here, right? Bam, it blew through all of this. Look at all these wicks. It cleared them all out. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means a lot of stop loss closed, a lot of take profit. So what am I doing? Right now I would be silent on GBP. Why? Because first of all, it's at a level, it's between a level, very strong level, as you see when it got here last time, 400 pip move. So right now, I would be looking at the 4 hour to see how it closes first of all, and 1 hour, I would be waiting as well. On the 1 hour, I'd be waiting until it closes about 148. 247. Then, if it looks like the market is moving as above the MA, I'll buy. I'll put my stop loss, maybe 30, 40 pips. Below this low, 50 pips. I'd be going for 200 pips on that trade.
Okay.
But determining the trend is just looking at, depending on what you're trading. Daily, GBP JPY is strong, is a bullish, the trend is bull. It's correcting right now, so buying around here is not a bad idea.
Okay.
And you'll see what's gonna happen. I predict it's gonna start bouncing up from this point. I already see it starting to. Yeah.
I saw the same thing on Friday. I think it was Friday, Thursday. That it has a potential to go up as a bull for GBP JPY.
Yeah. And how do you know that? First of all, that just retesting is gonna retest, and it's probably gonna retest it twice, because it's a strong level. This level's been there. Let me see.
Yeah, it's been there for a while.
It's been there almost for a year. So once it breaks it, it's not just, it might, sometimes it just immediately shoots up, but it always comes back for the retest. Retest 1, they held. They're testing it again. Me personally, if I trade this trade, I'm looking for a daily close, a bull candle, daily close. And depending on the candle, I know it's going up. Like some of the things you gotta, the thing about Renko that I don't like, that's why I don't trade Renko, is because some of these candles give you information. And Renkos are just, they're the same bar back day in, day out, no matter what. It just has a wick or something, right?
Yeah.
Like I could determine some reversals just by looking at one candle.
Because you look for the
When you
engulfing.
train your eye to notice that, you get better trades and more confident in your trade.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of that. So you see right here in gold, I saw this right here. This candle to me means reversal. And you might look at it and say it looks like a pin bar.
Yeah.
And it's pin bar that closed, on the negative or undecided. It might be going down, and next day, bam, a bear move, followed by a bull move. It stayed above that low, and another pin bar here, right? You might think it's not going up, but that's when you use what I told you, dominant trend, right? So the dominant trend for gold has been bulls. A very strong move. It came to 143, got rejected, and consolidated a bit. What did it do last week? It broke through that little couple of days consolidation, and right now it's gonna continue to trend, in my opinion, because that's a very strong move right there. It's only gonna be followed by more buying pressure. When these guys see that, people who trade these markets see there's such a strong move in the market, they're gonna start buying in because they know that's gonna be followed up by more buying.
Okay.
So once it's out of consolidation, expect another trend. I have my take profit here, but originally it's here. I just don't know how long it's gonna take. But looking at this candle, it might not even take that long. It could be a matter of a week. So if that's the case, that's a 600 pip trade. All right, I'll hold that. So actually, I'm gonna just put it there now. But that's what you wanna start to how you wanna start looking at the market. When you're trading lower time frame, it doesn't change. You don't wanna be in the market for 10 pips because what's your risk when you're in the market for 10 pips, Steven?
5 pips stop loss.
5 pips. And all right, that's not bad. At least you're managing it, in that aspect.
Yeah.
But why would you, let's say here in this 15-minute trade, why would you take, let's say, these 10 pips and miss these 130 or 40 pips?
True.
To me, that's just a missed opportunity.
It is.
If you see that in the 15-minute, you're trading this session, it's in a little range, it breaks above, and you take 10 pips, that's great. You can do that, 20 times along this, 400 pips. Or you do it 10 times, that's 100 pips, great. But every time you get in, if you don't manage your risk well, because I know Hugo does this shit all the time, and not put the proper stop loss, you end up losing more than you win.
And Hugo don't like to use stop losses, bro. Yo solo ha dicho a él que you gotta use them.
The reason you use it is because, first of all, Hugo has he's always like, oh, I fell asleep. Whatever. That's not a good excuse. If you had your stop loss, you wouldn't lose. Second, you're dealing with your emotions and your greed. A stop loss it'll take you out when it's due.
Exactly.
And you eliminate a little bit of that, mismanaging that happens just by human error.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I see your concept of, not scalping especially if you are seeing a bigger opportunity. Because in a lot of cases that happens to me. I get a little bit impatient, even though I know the sense of the direction, but I do get a little bit impatient. So now I reduced my target to 20 pips max. Just hit it now. It doesn't care. I don't even care if it went 80 pips extra. Just me. Once I go into the market, just being in the right direction once I place that trade. So
yeah. That's good, because all you're doing is really learning how to be patient.
Yeah.
Once you're patient and more confident in your trading, you're not gonna let those opportunities slip because you don't want to. Yeah. In general, if you with the same, let's say you for 20 pips. For the same 20 pips you're going for, and you put a 20 pip stop loss, if you can get, let's say, 100 pips, that's 5 times with the same stop loss. You're not gonna want to miss those opportunities. But you do what you need to do to get to that level. The reason that one of the things even good about trading long term is you learn how to be patient.
Es la mierda que me mata a mí, loco. The patience, nigga. Yo soy más desesperado que el culo.
Bro, it's key in this. If you're not patient in this game, you get wiped out because what happens is, look, like I'm trading this. Like, all right, it's going up, right? I'm trading against the trend because I'm trading dollar weakness. But also, if I'm not patient, I'll just close this trade right now. But part of understanding what's happening is these candles, it close every certain amount of times. So if I'm trading the 4 hour and I look at it, let's say when it's 2 hours into the candle and I see this and I'm like, oh, let me close. You know how many times it just so happens that the market, all that you see, all this bullish what do you call it? This bullish body just rejects all these and just closes bearish anyways at the 4 hour mark. It happens in the 5 minute too. That's why you gotta be patient. And candles help in that sense because you know that a 5 minute candle closes in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So when you're doing trades within different time frames, if you're trading the 1 hour and you're using the lower time frames to get in, remember you're trading the 1 hour. Every hour is realistic when you should be checking the trade to see how it's going.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be in between the hour, a la media hora,
Checking the
determining
trade.
what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Because within that hour, it could still close above or below where you expect it to go.
Okay.
On the 4 hour, same thing. If you're trading the 4 hour, wait for the 4 hour candle to close, so you understand what's going on. Because you're missing half of the picture when you step in and you want to manage when it's 2 hours into the candle.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I learned. And also, breaks below certain levels, you want to wait till it closes below a level. You don't jump into a trade because it penetrates a level. It penetrates levels all the time and leaves wicks behind. You want to wait till that candle closes. That's the thing with Renkos. I can't really tell you how it behaves on level because I'm not really trading Renkos. And I know it leaves wicks behind. And maybe it's the same thing. Just wait until the Renko bar closes below the level.
Yeah.
And then you're ready to trade it.
Yeah, with Renkos is different because it shows you a lot more detailed information, being that it's placed on price, not on time. So it's a little bit more detailed, the candles, but it's a bit more difficult.
¿Ustedes están usando el sistema de Ángel? I know George ain't. El sistema de Ángel.
Yeah.
That shit is
No,
pretty
the
good.
system I can tell you this, is wonderful. Like, once you understand it, it's great. You know, he has a great strategy. It's just implementing what is your best level of trading, what you're doing. Let's say if you're a long-term scalper, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's really what determines your success with Angel System. I trade both Renkos. I trade both Renkos and candles, but I mostly stay with candles just because that's what I got more familiar with, and that's how I started from the beginning, was learning candles, you know?
Yeah.
Also, one of the things that I've learned this past week, which one I was testing, is Fib fans. It's placing the Fib fans, and Fib fans been pretty much pretty accurate for me lately.
Well, what you look at when you do the fan? It tells you more or less like the vertical.
It tells you more or less where the strength rejection is gonna go hand in hand with the dominant trend direction. So once you place your trend lines, there's a certain way how to place the Fib fans. Okay. Once you place it that certain way, it gives you more or less an accurate more accurate level.
Yeah.
Where the direction might go, or where could you expect a reversal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what I recommend usually, it doesn't matter what strategy you have, just how you approach the market, what mindset you come in with. And you want to start fresh. If you guys are taking 10, 20 pips, fine. Go to the 1 hour, break down the market, see what's happening. If you come into the 1 hour, you want to determine your levels. So the market broke this level, let's say on the 1 hour JPY. And you want to know exactly where it's going to stop or where you think it's gonna long term, where it's gonna hit, like the strength of the level, because this level right here does not have the same significance of this level right here. So you got to determine that, and however you do that, if you want to make this level blue and this one green, just to signify kind of strengths or whatnot, you do that, and trade with the trend. Like this was it was consolidated within a range. It broke that. You wouldn't buy until it hits another level. Like I would still be selling on the 1 hour.
Okay.
GBP JPY, and you want to trade. If you're on the 5 minute, you want to be trading with it. You want to be trading with the market, like with the level. And you don't want to be buying because you're kind of going against that 1 hour bias of
Yeah.
the market being bearish. So you want to be looking for sell opportunities. How you look for sell opportunities? You do the same thing you do on any time frame. You would draw your trend lines. So that's one trend line. You would draw smaller levels within that 1 hour time frame levels that you drew. So it's in a small little range. It broke below, it broke back in. If it doesn't break, let's say for instance this trend line here, I'm not buying. I'm still waiting till it breaks out of the range once again, and then I'll sell it.
Got it.
So how you break down the market on one time frame has to be the same way you do it on the time frame you're trading, because that's just gonna give you better opportunities to enter. You're going for 10, 20 pips. 10, 20 pips on GBP JPY is nothing. Like that's a small little trade. So if you enter at the right place, sometimes you don't need much of a stop loss. And it'll just automatically go your way. But that's the thing, you gotta enter at the right place.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with that, well, one thing I'll tell you about scalping is that it's a tougher game once you start. For beginners, scalping is harder because it takes more input from you quicker. And if you're not a skilled trader, you're gonna be kind of mixed between the two mindsets of is it going up or down?
Yeah.
On that border of 50-50 all the time when you're trading. But the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. So it's only gonna help you learn quicker. And if that works for you, that works for you. What else are you having issues with? Or questions or anything? So 2 things you gotta remember. Determining trend and when the trend is over. When the trend counter trends and breaks above the last, let's say, impulsive move, this would be an impulsive move. This would be a corrective move right here. So this bull move right here is counter impulsive, but it didn't break above here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still with the bias that it's
going down.
It's still bear trend,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That's one you gotta determine. Because if you notice head and shoulders, that's usually what happens. Let me get a head and shoulders, a clear one, right here on GBP. Oh, GBP JPY. All right. So if you notice that's exactly what happens. So let's say this is the head. This is shoulder 1 and shoulder 2. But remember what I said. Look at this impulsive move, corrective. Another impulsive move, then corrected towards the bear side. It broke below this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it still did another impulsive move. Now, this impulsive move got rejected by a counter-impulsive that once again broke these lows. So, first of all, at least me, when I see one side and then I see another side do that, I already see a head and shoulder. You got to determine where you think it's gonna, like next shoulder is gonna form. But The market helps you. You see it gets up here. Let me take these out so it's a little more clear. You see it gets up here, gets rejected with a strong bear candle. Bam, you see this candle followed by a bear move that cannot break above these two candles right here. So what am I looking at? I'm looking for the sell-off. Sell-off happens, and look at it right here. Then it consolidates and it's breaking lower. And now the market is continuing down. As I expected, and I had my fucking trade, but still time.
Over here? Yes, fine. All right, buddy.
So I just placed a trade, and it's what, 60, 40 pips, 30 pips. That's okay. And then on the 4 hour, I would be looking for the buying opportunity around this level.
So once it hits this 147520, you would buy?
Not immediately.
Okay.
Not immediately, because it could also be going for this trend line with a deeper pullback. Remember, the market
Travels from trend line.
a little longer. It might be going to the 50 fib. It had a nice little bounce from the 38.2, but right now I'm already seeing that this 4 hour candle is breaking the low of the last two candles. So you saw the bull stepped in here and the bear set the low right here.
Yeah.
Bulls came in, bought it up, or maybe they took some profits, whatever the case was. And now this 4 hour candle, which closes at 9, is going to close below those two lows. On the 1 hour, or let's say on the 15 minute, this is how it would look. It's closing below this level right here. It's closing below that. On the 15 minute, this is a 15-minute trade I just placed. That's it. 30 pips, that's fine. 30 pips, and it's probably a 30 pip stop or a 20 pip stop, 25 pip stop. It's 1 hour, but it's a good trade just because I know the bias is bearish until we get a little deeper into that range. It's already running, right? I don't gotta do nothing. I let my stop loss do the work. If I'm educating myself, I watch the trend. A failed attempt, I told you, it didn't break above this. For a head and shoulder to form, it needs to break above the previous high or low. That level being here before that impulsive bearish move happened, right?
Yeah.
It got contained. And little by little, they just bring it down. EMA took over, and now bears are back in control. I'm watching that.
Okay.
And if you notice, look where the market bounced off. Look where orders were sitting, right here, around the 38.2 fib. These dudes that had their orders sitting there, they trade the Asian session.
Yeah.
They make their money. 50, 60 pips, when you have a big bankroll behind you, that's cake. If you have a standard lot behind 40 pips, that's $400.
Yeah.
Is it? Or is it more? No. Yeah, it is. So, it all depends, but you gotta just be patient. Don't think about the money when you're beginning how to trade.
Actually, I'm trying to get the pips, bro, but you know, it's that con los semaphores y toda la vaina, like I was using, I just noticed that because yo estaba repasando los videos y todo.
Yeah.
So I was fucking up with the order of operation and shit. Y la inexperiencia, you know, with the chart reading, bro. That's where I need most of the help, is reading the charts better.
Bro, then put the chart naked. One of the things that helped me was reading the chart with nothing. I don't need nothing. I don't even need an AMA, and I can read the chart, understand what's happening. You want to get to that stage because that's when you have your personal knowledge of how patterns look and what to look for, and then you have the indicators doing what indicators do. They're complementary. They help you.
Yeah.
They're not the it. You got to know how to read the chart from your own perspective and knowledge, and that's how you're really gonna get good.
Yeah.
You 40 minutes. This thing is Zoom is gonna wrap up pretty much. Cause it's only 40 minutes.
Ah, está todo viejo.
But like we can do a next one, next week and just I say you guys, if you're having problems reading trend, work on that this week and we'll pick up where you guys leave off.
Está todo viejo.
Remember two things. Just remember that a trend is not over until the impulsive move is knocked out by another impulsive move in the opposite direction. So that's that. And also, the dominant trend you can determine on the higher time frames, and the lowers you would do the same, but understand the higher and you want to stick to that side. Depending how low you go on the 5 minute, and just stick to the 1 hour.
Está todo.
Flaco.
Güey, ¿qué es lo que es?
I think Steven did a video, so
Yeah, I'm about to upload it.
it's about to wrap up. So, like
No,
Zoom only does 40-minute meetings when you're starting.
Ya.
So,
¿Qué de nuevo, bro?
Tranquilo,
Ah.
viejo.
¿Qué de nuevo? ¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Cómo va todo?
estamos bien, my nigga. I was gonna, sick and on, just getting back into action, trying to make shit happen again.
Qué bueno, qué bueno. ¿Qué era lo que tenía?
Una bacteria, strep, pero it was in my blood for some reason.
Damn, bro. That's dangerous.
I don't know. We good. We did it. We made it. We made it.
We made it.
Gracias a Dios. nigga.
Gotta make this money now.
Fuck
Ya
yeah,
lo
bro.
sabes.
But
Oye, yo hablé la semana pasada, yo hablé con un tipo que es multimillonario.
yeah.
He's from Singapore, right?
Mhm.
Tú sabes, nosotros lo que hablamos fue prácticamente del mindset, porque él no, he doesn't share his strategies.
Yeah.
Entonces, lo primero que me dijo fue, me dice, are you going to school? Y yo le dije, no. Okay, because if you're not going to be a doctor or an engineer, school is bullshit. Así mismo fue que me dijo.
Yeah.
Straightforward. Me dice, this shit is hard, but this is the way to go. So, keep doing what you're doing. Lo primero que me dijo fue el management. Eso fue lo primero.
Risk management is everything, bro. The only
Yeah.
reason I haven't made it in this shit is because I haven't managed my risk.
Bueno, somos dos. Tú sabes cómo uno le mete.
Yep.
Pero eso fue lo primero que él me dijo. Yo, he stressed it so many times throughout the conversation. Risk management. Second, stop loss.
It's my lesson learned right there.
Y la tercera, have no emotions. Tú sabes, get away from greed. That's the only thing. Eso fue lo único 3 puntos que él tocó prácticamente. Me dice, ya después que tú tienes eso, olvídate. Y el style de él, tú sabes, for him to trade, was like, if I earn any amount of pips, it's going to be like 3 pips and I'm going to lose 10. Tú sabes.
He's gonna what?
Vamos a suponer que he's going for 3 pips, right?
So he's willing to lose 10?
He's willing to lose 10.
Okay.
Pero él me dijo a mí que as soon as you see 3% negative, just pull out.
That was the point.
Eso digo yo. Es que me imagino yo que el estilo de ellos es mucho más diferente que uno.
But if he's going for 3 and 10, that's because he's stopping. And he's giving him room to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
That all comes, if that works for him, it's because he made it work for him.
yeah, of course.
And that to somebody beginning, because they're gonna fucking blow their account every time.
Claro, loco, ese problema. Mucho del problema que yo tengo, viejo, es que I get in a trade, like sometimes I call out the trade, I get in it, but since I set my stop loss at like 5 or 10 pips, sometimes that bitch just take me out and then it continues going on that fucking direction, bro.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
seen that shit happen 1,000 times.
Y ahí es que yo me quiero estrellar, loco.
That's the thing is you gotta get in at the right time, because when you're scalping, there's little moves and they'll penetrate, 10 pips, one shot on the 5 minute and wipe anybody that had really tight stop.
Yeah.
You gotta really know what's the turning point.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just do it to take you out and then just they keep going with the trend.
Mm-hmm.
Están limpiando.
Yeah. Chacho, ¿tú sabes cuántas veces nosotros nos quitan la camisa así?
Chacho.
Bro,
Y después venía y bajaba 100 pesos para el lado que uno estaba esperando.
Ya tú sabes, ahí cuando uno se quiere trallar, loco.
but you know the thing. That's what I tell you. Like, I don't know exactly how you guys are scalping, but the trades you want to be putting your stop loss below levels. Like, if I'm buying, let's say I buy now, I'm not gonna put my stop loss 10 pips away. I'm gonna put it below this
Yeah.
That,
because that was
he really has to break that in order for the trend to go down.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
the way that I do it,
Hang on. I'm counting, okay, if I'm a buy and I'm expecting it to break up, and this is my level right here, I'm gonna be below these wicks with my stop loss because I know that this is where buyers are buying it up.
yeah.
But if you put it in between, you're gonna get wiped out for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes we're going for just 5 or 10 pips because you might need to gain 20, 30 pips for your risk to make sense. If you're risking 15 pips and you're only going for 10, if you do that 10 times and you lose 5 out of 5, you're losing money.
Yeah. Yeah, what I'm doing lately is as soon as I get in, I'm positive like 10 pips. I put a stop loss of like 2. Tú sabes?
Positive too.
Yeah, positive 2. Y si se devuelve, no se dio el trade, but I'm still positive.
Exactly. That's what I like. That's what I like to
You're
do.
stopping.
Pero
Yeah.
sometimes I should
But
be.
I'm usually going for like trades for, from 50 pips and above.
Yeah.
And y eso se dan, ahora que cambiaron la hora, from like 2:30 a.m. to like 3:30, por ahí en GJ.
Sí.
Yeah, because you see a setup of like, como un trend line.
Mm-hmm.
Entonces el tercer punto de evolución es el que te da todos los puntos, prácticamente. O a breakup.
But, Steven, just on the same topic. So, for example, right here, UCAP.
Ajá.
You see this impulsive bearish move?
Yeah.
Bam, you get the counter impulsive bull move. It closed above that where the impulsive move started.
Okay.
What happens? A nice little head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder.
Pa
If you
arriba.
see that and you see this bull candle come out of nowhere, buy that up, boom. Look at the move.
Yeah.
Now it's upside.
What's that, H1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably if you go down to a smaller chart, you see the rejections there. Como 2 o 3 rejections del mismo trend line. Y después es que viene y se dispara con todo para arriba. I mean, that's how, así que yo lo he visto últimamente.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, you guys using Rankos? I don't know. I don't feel good.
No, I don't use Rankles.
Because Rankos, at least for learning, once you know, and you know what kind of the overall of the market, and you could jump to Rankos, but I wouldn't jump to Rankos from the get-go. You're missing a lot of information. Like, there's candles that tell you reversals.
Yeah.
You start seeing those little patterns. Bro, you're on the money more than not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, but whatever works for you guys. I'm not trying to tell you anybody how to trade. I can give you advice from what I learned.
No, sí.
One of the biggest things is manage your risk because the time like a couple of months ago, I took 400 to 5,000, and all that happened was I didn't manage my risk, and I got too cocky within the same little couple of days. In 1 week, it took me 2 months to get there, or no, a month and a half of patient trading, being wise, managing my risk, and I wiped it out in 1 week.
Damn, bro. A Hugo le pasa eso mucho because he gets overconfident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, when you do that, because tú sabes, me ha pasado pila a mí también, just step away. Oye, si tú tienes que dejar de trade por un par de días,
Deja.
That's what you have to do.
until that bubble, pops,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah, when you have big gains, just take a breather. Take a day, take 2, whatever you think you need.
¿Y por qué ustedes no, like, por lo menos retira la mitad, loco? Y brega con la
Well, because
mitad.
think about this. $500, right? Let's say I put 500 into my account and I take it at $5,000. You think at $5,000 I'm thinking about anything else than 10?
Ah, fuck. Oh.